We defeated so many mines we had to go to the stack of the ship, and you'll see the mines, the different mines painted on the ship, much like you would with a plane with kills and whatnot. Because when we first got in, we thought we were going to be there a couple weeks. We'd do a couple mines, you know. But I mean, after a while, I mean, when you've got 5, 6, 10, 11 mines under your belt, you know, to me, I started thinking, well, maybe my luck's going to run out, right? How many times could you do this successfully and still come out? So, I mean, one of the things that we were challenged with in the Gulf War is they knew what to do, but they didn't have the expertise to do it, right? So many of the mines we found were laying in a minefield. So tactically, militarily, they were employed correctly. However, the people they were using were conscripts. And so these conscripts had no training. So in many cases where you are supposed to pull a pin, turn a knob, and push it over the side, they would just go up there and push it over the side. And so you would literally find a mine, just like you would find in a magazine, sitting on the bottom, right? And occasionally you'd find one, somebody actually read the manual, knew what they were doing, and it's actually physically sitting there working. So you didn't know what you were going to find. But in a war like that, where you have a mix of military and conscripts doing things, nothing is textbook. You're trying to figure it out as you go along. Especially many of the mines we found, they weren't as the publications said they would be. So we found lots of nuances in those weapons, right? As I think you would find today. Right? We were out of Al Shuaibah, the Kuwaiti harbor, because we had gone in there to clear the harbor. So what we would do for fun is on our days off, we would go out in town and clear weapons caches. So that picture is actually a schoolhouse that we went to that the Iraqis had taken their ordnance basically and loaded it up in the schoolhouse, and we were going through the schoolhouse looking for different types of ordnances to identify and pass up and destroy later on. It is a weird definition of fun, but it was something different than diving all day, right? Especially in those early days where you're diving in oil, right? Very nasty, dirty, long, hard days of work. Start early in the morning and late at night. So a day off, you know, it was just something to do. The real difference for Navy EOD is we do a lot of things in extremis on our own, right? We typically only go down to two-man teams, but I think that it creates in you an innate desire or want to know, because you could be in a situation where you're making very quick decisions. Some of the stories in the latest war where people are walking in the caves, right? You're not walking into a magazine. You're not walking where somebody was taking inventories. You know, same thing with that schoolhouse. These weren't kept under lock and key in environmentally controlled buildings. They were left in schoolhouses, you know, with 130 degree, 140 degree temperatures. I think it was a big mission. It was a noted mission, but you really don't notice it when you're there. When you're on the ground, you really focus on your small portion. It's not till I think you leave and you kind of look at the entire scope of the numbers of mines that were cleared, the ability to put ships back into place and do those types of things, that it really hits you later.